Between spicy jokes and sharp analyses, the PTI delved into some of the hottest topics in American sports. But nothing attracted more attention than the nearly impossible challenge of the Denver Broncos without their starting quarterback.
What supposed to do? Just hang around? Can do whatever he wants. If he wants to come back, he can and will, but it's understandable if he doesn't.
I'd love to disagree with you. I cannot disagree with you. Steve Kerr is now in his 12th season with the Warriors. He has 4 championships, could easily have had a 5th, and I know you agree with me on that.
Yeah, I do.
He has coached. He was the head coach of the United States men's Olympic basketball team once, and he won a gold medal. He has proven beyond a shadow of a doubt that he's a great coach, and all we should do really is applaud him. When I think of Steve Kerr, I think of Steph Curry, I think of Klay Thompson, and I think of Draymond Green.
Yep.
That, to me, is the essence of the Warriors. Some people will say, well, what about Durant? He was there for 2 championships. Kevin Durant was a guy who, it seemed to me, was invited to dinner, ate the meal, and then left. I mean, he was just gone in a hurry. Klay Thompson is now gone, right? He's on Dallas. Bob Myers left a few years ago. So now it is just Curry and Green. Curry is under contract this year and next. Green is under contract this year, I believe, has an option for next year. Now, what we have done, you and I, the last 2 to 3 years, when we talk about the Warriors, we talk about the fact that they're not winning as many games as they used to win, and can they get back to that? Well, Jimmy Butler just went out for the whole year.
And
now we're talking about the drama around someone named Jonathan Kuminga as if he is a critical piece. Much like you, I agree with this. It is waning. We see it waning. Let Kerr do whatever he wants. Let us take a break.
Absolutely.
We have NFL questions for our great friend, ESPN NFL and college football analyst, Booger McFarland, wearing an Indian Creek shirt where I've played. It's really good. Let's start with this. The Patriots at the Broncos. Okay, the Broncos defense is good. Is it good enough to make up for the loss of Bo Nix?
You know what, Tony? I think it is. I think they have the ability to rush the passer with Bonito and Cooper. They're 2 edge guys. They can cover you on the back end with Surtain and Moss. They're linebackers in the middle. They ball out all day long. So I think this defense, even though they didn't play well against Buffalo, they have the ability to sack your quarterback and turn you over. The key will be, can they get any help from the offense? I know that Bo Nix is not going to be there, and Jarrett Stidham, I think, is a very capable backup. He's going to have to do something. I don't think they can win this game 10-7 or 12-6 like some of the old days back with the Ravens and the Buccaneers and Mike Wilbon's 85 Bears. They're going to have to score 17 to 20 points. And if they do that, I think this defense is good enough to make life miserable for Drake May.
That's Booker just threw some factors in there. All right, Rams and Seahawks. They've split 2 really tight games, as you know, this season, Booger. What's going to be the difference in the 3rd game, and which way are you leaning?
The absence of Bo Nix completely changes the AFC Championship landscape. For Wilbon, there is no discussion. A team without a starting QB is a heavy underdog, period. Tony even tried to find precedents and rely on Denver's dominant defense. But the truth is that Jarrett Stidham takes the field with the thankless mission of not losing the game. As if that weren't enough, the program also discussed the old roller coaster of the Mets, the possible end of Steve Kerr's cycle in Golden State, and the brilliance of Fernando Mendoza, whom Booger McFarland sees as the future number 1 in the draft.
Well, I think the difference is if you're the Rams, you got to be able to run the football. Like the Rams have always been that team, a little bit finesse. Yeah, they kind of run the ball, but they do it schematically because Sean McVay does a great job with the mid zone and the outside zone. And if you think about it, who was the Rams' nemesis for a long time? It was the 49ers because the 49ers were so much more physical than the Rams. Well, guess who's the most physical team now? It's the Seattle Seahawks. That defensive line led by Williams, Murphy, and Lawrence is outstanding. They want to take you into a phone booth and beat the hell out of you. And I think if you're the Rams, you're going to have to match the Seahawks' physicality. You got to run the football. No, they don't have to run it for 200 yards, but they got to be able to take some of the pressure off of Matthew Stafford. And if they can establish some semblance of a running game, then they turn the game over to a guy who many think is going to win the MVP in Matthew Stafford. And this is what they got Devontae Adams for, right? It was Puka Nacua, it was Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp is gone, you bring in Devontae Adams. And so now, if they can run the football, Devontae Adams, you got to show up. It's got to be Stafford, it's got to be Adams, it's got to be Nacua. But the first thing they have to do is match the physicality of the Seattle Seahawks. If they do that, then they have a chance.
Booger, as much as we love talking about these conference championships games with you, we can't have you on without talking about the coaching carousel and whether or not you find the Bills or the Ravens head coaching vacancy more appealing. If you want a write-in candidate, you want to go off book, feel free.
You know, typically this would be an easy choice because I would choose the Buffalo Bills because I think they have the best player in the sport now in Josh Allen. But after that press conference yesterday with Terry Pagula and Brandon Beane, I'm not so sure I want to go work for that guy if he's going to point the finger every opportunity that he gets. So now you look at, from a structure standpoint and an ownership standpoint, look at Baltimore. Steve Bisciotti has done an outstanding job. Lamar Jackson is a two-time MVP. When you look at Ozzie Newsome, who's still around that program, Eric DeCosta, I think both of these teams are absolutely outstanding. I still think I would want the talent over the field. I get it. Terry Pagula did a horrible job of taking ownership of issues at the press conference. I'm talking about that may have been one of the worst press conferences I've ever seen an owner do when you sit up there with your new GM and head of football operations and you basically blame the former staff. With that being said, football is a game of talent, and Josh Allen is the best player in the sport. So right now, I still think the best job, only by a little bit, because Baltimore and Lamar Jackson and what they do with Steve Bisciotti, I think the world of that program. But because of Josh Allen, because he is who he is, I think the Buffalo Bills job is the best job. And I'm going to have a serious conversation with Terry Pagula, because what we do inside our locker room should stay in the locker room. I didn't like the fact that they talked about the players were crying. I didn't like the fact that they threw Keon Coleman under the bus. Keon Coleman is somewhere, Mike, on vacation. He catching strays from the owner and the GM.
Yeah.
Those things can't happen. But because of Josh Allen, I will take the Buffalo Bill job.
I agree with that. You dangle a diamond like Josh Allen, that kind of glitter is what you want to coach if you have the opportunity. We get you out of here on the college game, because I know you went to the college championships. Do you like Fernando Mendoza's prospects at the next level, the NFL level?
I do, Tony, because we've talked about this for years. I've been talking to you guys. I don't care about the quarterback, how big he is. I don't care how far he throws the football. I don't care what he runs the 40 in. My quarterback has to do two things. He's got to process information, and he's got to throw the football accurately. And Fernando Mendoza does that at the highest level. You watch some of those back shoulder fades that he threw against the Miami Hurricanes down in Miami. You watch how fast the ball came out. Even though Miami was bringing a ton of pressure, the ball came out of his hands quickly. It was accurate. Now, it helps the fact that he's 6'5" and 230 and can run quarterback draw and get the game-winning touchdown. That stuff helps. But when you're playing football in the National Football League, you better throw it accurately and you better process information quickly. And no one knows that better than the guy who's the minority owner of the Las Vegas Raiders, and that's Tom Brady. He's not the biggest guy. He damn straight the fastest guy, but his ability to process information and throw the football accurately was outstanding. And I think he's going to appreciate what he saw from Fernando Mendoza. Oh, by the way, guess who was on the sideline in Miami, Tony? Tom Brady, John Spytek, minority owner, general manager. Yeah. They're going to appreciate what they saw in Miami. He's a tough kid. He throws it accurately. He can process. I think he's going to be the #1 pick, and I can say that in January for April's draft.
Great pleasure to have you as always, Booger.
Thank you, Booger.
So
appreciate
much.
it.
Always, anytime, fellas.
Let's take one last break. Still to come, the Knicks bounce back. Happy time, people. Happy 80th birthday, Serge Savard. History lesson, kids. The Hall of Fame defenseman played 17 seasons in the NHL. 15 for his hometown Montreal Canadiens, and the last 2 with Winnipeg. For much of his time with the Canadiens, Savard was paired with another defenseman Hall of Famer, Larry Robinson. In all, Savard won 7 Stanley Cups in Montreal, and Robinson won 6. In Savard's 3rd season, at the age of 23, he won the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP. Savard was unusually big for a defenseman.
The episode showed how sport is cruel and fascinating at the same time. An injury changes everything. Backstage decisions weigh as much as talent, and great dynasties eventually come to an end. In PTI, there are plenty of stories and a lack of certainties,